give up a big play like that. And I don't remember, but I think a couple of them went for touchdowns. And, so I think what we've done better is from a team standpoint, the guys up front are playing really improved gap control. The linebackers are fitting in where they fit, and the secondary is doing their part, and we're minimizing the damage.
Big plays.
Big plays. We're minimizing the big plays,
Some of the guys have talked about communication as well.
Yeah, communicate, and that's all a big part of it. Yeah, that's a big part of it. There's no question about that. And that goes along with, the improvement of the first level, the second level linebackers, the third level, everybody kind of, knowing what the other guy's doing now.
So why did the communication stuff like that, why did that come so slowly maybe? Was it maybe
Well,
the scheme?
Well, I think it's probably pretty normal, when you're putting in a new system, it takes time with the complexity of what you're seeing and the multiplicity of the formations and the personnel groupings and all that stuff. So it's not something, I don't think it's something that happens overnight.
Tracy, go ahead.
On that same front, Ricky Jean, the locker room after the last game on the communication front, said that he feels like the players have had more control and responsibility within the scheme of this last month. You guys are trusting them to accomplish without having to tell them. They know what to do and they can tell each other.
Right.
Is that kind of the evolution of it?
Yeah, and that's kind of part of it. They're in this formation. We want to make this adjustment, and we can't do that from the sideline. Obviously, they're in this. We want to kind of be aware of what's going on here. Okay, so I think that's probably what he's talking about, which is critically important and is a big factor, in how you play, how fast you play, because it's important to play fast. Offenses play fast, so the defenses have got to match. You really got to match that level of confidence in what you're doing, and it's hard. It's hard if you're not doing that. To me, it's awfully hard to build any type of momentum and confidence, to play with. So we're just doing better with that.
Tracy Walker's a guy that has steadily kind of gotten more time, 43 snaps Sunday. That was his biggest load. What have you seen from him moving forward, and why you trust him?
Well, he's maturing. He certainly has a ways to go. There's no question about that. But he is understanding the defense, his role in the defense, and taking things with a lot of focus, which is required. The margin of error in this league, is pretty minimal, and I think he's come to that realization that he's got to be where he needs to be when he needs to be there, or it's not going to work. You're going to get beat. You're going to give up a play. So I think he's doing a better job, and I'll say this, that the guys in the back end, the safeties in the back end, are working hard with him. Glover's working pretty hard, and I think Tracy is smart and understands, hey, I got some pretty good guys here. There's kind of a blueprint as to how to go about this, which I think every young player, to me, the smart young players pick out the guy on the team that, they can kind of, get an idea of how to go through the process and what the process should be during the course of the week. And I think that they're just doing a good job back there altogether. And I think that's helping Tracy Walker.
You don't always get that kind of patience with a rookie. Sometimes you got to force them into action because of injuries. You've had good help back there, been able to bring them along at the pace that you want.
You're a little slower.
How important is that?
That's really.
To control his development.
Yeah, really important. Yeah, it really is. Because otherwise you can get your brains blown out back there too. Easy, right? Yeah, I mean, I've been with guys that they had a play and put a suicide watch on them. I mean, it's hard back there with all the skilled players you have and everything that's going on back there now. Things happen pretty fast.
In that regard, speaking of, well, mentioning Slay, just having a guy like that leads the league in passes defended since he's been here, at least 2 interceptions the last 5 years. Just having the consistency with a guy at that position, how important is that for a defensive coordinator defense?
Yeah, well, it's important. You know, it helps the longevity of the defensive coordinator, but it's really important for the defense. I mean, it's just to have a guy like that where everybody has such confidence in him and he's making plays. I mean, that just goes back to being able to play and generate, you know, the momentum and the confidence and the enthusiasm, you know, that you really need. And it helps the defense, but I think it helps the whole team, you know. When you know you pick the ball off and you return it for a touchdown and 7 points go up, I mean that's gotta have a positive effect on everybody, you know. Those PBUs he had. I mean, you know, he played quite a game the other day, you know, and I just think it helps the whole operation. You know, it really does.
You got a couple guys, Harold, were kind of rolls the dice right before the season started. Have you gotten more from them than maybe even expected to?
Yeah, we didn't know them. You know, we didn't know Romeo as well, but he's come in and he's been, you know, a productive guy for us. He really has, and he's long. He's got long arms. He's got a knack to rush the passer. He plays very hard. You know, he's getting better. The nice thing about those guys is they're getting better. You know, each week you can see growth. So they've done a nice job, and it's been, you know, a pleasant surprise.
When you hop in the film with the Bills, what stands out to you about Josh Allen?
Oh boy, I've seen a lot of good quarterbacks who could pull the ball down and run. This guy is really something. He's big, you know. He's got really good speed. He's got good vision. He's their leading rusher, you know. So he's just very impressive. He's got a strong arm. He can throw the ball. You know, there's plays on that film where the ball's going 70 yards in the air, you know. So, you know, he's a handful. There's no question about that.
You guys played some really mobile quarterbacks this year with Russ, Trubisky, Cam. I don't know if you know this. You are letting up the fewest rushing yards to quarterbacks in the NFL.
Don't jinx us now.
Well,
You knock on wood when you say that.
Is there something that you're doing, working on contained and broken plays and stuff that are containing these
Just
guys?
no, I don't think anything different than anybody does. Just trying to make the guys aware. You know, this guy is going to pull the ball down. He's going to run with it. You know, just trying to make the guys up front, make the guys in the coverage understand. Hey, you know, he breaks the line of scrimmage. We got to go try to minimize the damage. You know, but other than that, I think that's probably about it.
Does that speak to maybe the ability of some of the guys that you have spies sometimes in certain situations when you're focusing on that, just the ability that you have with multiple guys that can play that role pretty well?
Yeah, but you know, the guys up front is the guys. You know, to me, the real good pass rushers that I've had, or have coached me, the pleasure I've had myself to be around guys that could really rush the passer. They all had, the really good ones all had a few things in common. But one thing in common was they're rushing the passer. Somehow, some way, they always knew where the quarterback was. Somehow, some way. Now, sometimes they got their eyes focused on, you know, the guy they're making a move on, and there goes the quarterback. But somehow, in their peripheral vision, they saw him go and they went. You know, so it's about the guys up front, you know, and the guys in the back. And if you got a spy, that's great, but you can't always do that. You know, you're not going to have a spy on every play. You just can't do it. Just awareness of who the guy is and vision as you're rushing the passer, and don't slow down, go, but be ready to, I call it retrace, be ready to retrace your steps and go get them, you know.
How do you find that balance against mobile quarterbacks between, obviously you want to attack and get in the backfield, but
Yeah.
you know, you don't want to play cover 11 either. And
Right.
Sit back and
Right.
just wait.
Well,
you're
you're always trying to do a good job, you know. You're always trying to do a good job with the pass rush. You're always trying to coordinate the pass rush lanes. You know, you rush forward, there's an inside lane over here, there's an outside lane over there, there's an inside lane there, there's an outside lane there, there's 4 lanes. So just make sure you got a body in one of those 4 lanes. And the problems come when you get somebody out of those lanes and it kind of opens, you know. I used to enjoy it with McNabb, you know. You rushed him and got out of a lane, he was more than happy to pull the ball down and go, and could do some real damage. Now, this guy's the same way, but this guy's bigger, you know, and he's fast, you know. So it's going to be a challenge, really going to be a challenge.
One more, guys? Go ahead.
You guys play a lot of different coverages. Seems like you do have some favorites, though, particularly with those like a roving safety in the middle of the field. How do you go about weekly, like setting up the coverage selections that you like? Is it based on stylistically what the quarterback likes to do, the receivers, combination? How do you pick your coverage scheme for
Well,
each week?
you know, everybody's got a variety of coverages, right? This is the National Football League, so everybody's going to have, you know, coverages, okay? All we try to do each week is just sit down and try to figure out what the route combinations are, you know, who the go-to guys are, who the real good players are, and then just try. You can't implement everything every week, but you try to select what you think, you know, might work. Doesn't always work. A lot of times in a game, you got to make an adjustment and change what you're doing. That's kind of a weekly thing, you know. So there's nothing magical about it. You just try to sit down and grind it out and just figure it out and go from there. So.
Thanks, guys.